This is a big moment, and we don't really know how she's going to react. Jude is about to open her cage for her first taste of freedom.
Okay, wait. Let's start at the beginning. Teenum is a happy bear cub, a sun bear to be precise. This elusive and little-known rainforest animal is actually the smallest and arguably the cutest bear species in the world. But right now, they are in danger. As a baby, Teenum was snatched from the wild by poachers that killed her mother and wanted to sell her as a pet. But luckily she was saved by an amazing wildlife rescue team in northern Borneo. They have developed an innovative 4-phase plan to return her back into the wild. But it's not what you think. They aim to create a human foster family for Teenum deep inside the forest, with Jude taking on the role of her mother.
I'm really close with her. She trusts me, she plays with me, and she's really strong, really active, and wild.
Over 2 years, Jude will raise Teenum to become the strong and independent bear she's meant to be. And if successful, it could be a path for other orphans to find their way back into the wild and give hope for an entire species. This operation is not easy to pull off, and we decided to bring support. So we sent Cameron from Planet Wild into the middle of the rainforest, where he had to face leeches, endless dirt roads, and, well, a whole lot of rain, to help save the world's forgotten bear. We're Planet Wild. Welcome to Mission 13.
When Teenum was rescued at just 3 months old, she needed safety, shelter, and love. So she was brought here, the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Center. Since then, she's been growing up really fast on a strict routine of her favorite food, milk, and playtime. I'm insanely excited because I'm finally about to meet her after hearing so much about this beautiful cub. And I think she's right in there. Oh my God. I'm melting.
Teenum is a member of a truly fascinating species, and you might know them as the internet-famous fake bear.
Hello! Hello! It's the Great Bear Debate. People around the world can't get enough of those bears at a zoo in China that stand up straight. But many are convinced this show-off was really a human in a bear costume.
The reason they have the internet confused is that most people have never heard of these rare animals. So let's get to know them. Sun bears live in one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, the Southeast Asian rainforest, where they take the important role of a keystone species. That means they shape the ecosystem around them in 3 amazing ways. Number 1, they use their crazy long claws to dig up insects in the ground or tree trunks, which stirs up nutrients and creates cavities for all kinds of creatures to flourish. Number 2, because they eat so many fruits, they disperse lots of seeds all over their large territories, so that young tree saplings can sprout everywhere. And number 3, they maintain a delicate balance in their forests by controlling the termite population, which keeps trees happy and healthy. So maybe it's true that great things come in small packages. After all, they're the smallest bear species on Earth. But that doesn't keep them from climbing higher than any other bear, up to 50 meters into the rainforest tree canopy, where they use their foot-long tongue to hoover up insects, fruits, and their favorite, honey. But the key fact for this mission? Just like us, sun bears need a lot of love and care when growing up. In nature, they stay with their mother for up to 3 years to learn how to make it on their own. Without that social upbringing, they cannot survive in the wild. That's why it was thought impossible to ever return an orphaned sun bear back into the wild. But now, the team at the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Center is changing all that.
So the center is an orphanage for bears like Teenum, but it's also an old bears home and everything else in between for the most vulnerable bears with nowhere else to go. And sadly, it couldn't be more vital. With fewer than 10,000 individuals left in the wild, sun bears are facing existential threats from all sides. For decades, their rainforest home has been torn down for the timber and palm oil industries. This logging has created roads and tracks into once inaccessible areas of rainforest, meaning that poachers can easily enter sun bear territory. These animals are protected by law, but still the illegal sun bear trade remains highly profitable. Their meat and paws are sold to be eaten, and their organs are used in traditional medicine. When adult bears are killed, it leaves their babies alone and vulnerable. The cubs are then taken captive and put on the market as circus animals or pets. And this is exactly what happened to Tinem. Her mother was killed by a poacher, and then all alone, she was taken from the wild to be sold. Then she was kept in a small cage until being given up to the authorities. Luckily, Tinem was still very young when she was rescued, and this is a game changer because it means that the team here can finally test an innovative method to give Tinem back her freedom. And behind this plan is a true conservation hero, and that's Dr. Wong Siu Tee.
And then when they're standing up, the chest patch is very visible to tell their presence, hey, I'm here. And I think Superman steal the idea from the sun bear. You see the Superman S on the chest? You know, I'm Superman, all right?
Dr. Wong has devoted his life to protecting sun bears and has become the world's leading biologist in his field. A little hint of his legendary status around here? He's even been made into a cartoon. Let's get to know the real Wildlife Wong.
I was given the opportunity to study sun bear when I was in university. And then the more I know about it, the more I concerned to a point I feel like I have to do something to help them. And over the last 16 years, by creating the Borneo Sun Bear Conservation Center, I'm helping the sun bear as much as I can.
From the moment Tinem arrived here, she was looked after round the clock by Wong and his team, because without her bear mum to care for her, they had to step up and adopt her as their own foster child. And that has led to a very special relationship. This is Jude, and he's taken on the responsibility of being Tinem's surrogate mother. He spends more time with her than anyone else, feeds her most of her meals, and gives her the most cuddles. Now, Jude and Tinem have developed a strong family bond. But this is far from an ideal situation.
I do not want bears to live in captivity, not even here. The idea is that they can be released back into the wild.
But that's not easy. In the wild, they'd learn all of their survival skills from their mother, so it's really hard to teach those skills here at the center. But Wong and his team now have an opportunity to try something special. And with this method, Tinem can be a wild bear again. And what's about to happen next was made possible by people just like you, because Planet Wild is entirely community funded. Every month we go on a mission to bring back endangered species, clean up our oceans, or rewild entire landscapes. The bigger the community grows, the bigger these missions will get. So tonight is the night. The time has finally come to return Tinem to the wild, and the stakes are high. If this method works, it could be a route to a normal life for future sun bear orphans. The method is called a soft release, and this is phase 1. First, we need to take Tinem deep in the rainforest, and that's about a 5-hour drive from here. And it's a long and bumpy road, and probably longer and bumpier for poor Tinem.
Yeah, I'm feeling nervous, feeling excited, a lot of mixed feelings, you know.
So the sun's starting to come up now. We've been driving for a few hours, and I think everyone's pretty exhausted, but there's just this feeling of anticipation. It's just the gravel road now, so we're hoping that Tinem's doing okay, but it's not too much longer until we arrive.
Here, in the Tabin Wildlife Reserve, a protected area in Malaysian Borneo and a natural home for sun bears. We're setting up a rewilding camp for Tinem, where she'll spend the next couple of years growing up. And running an off-the-grid camp like this requires a lot of preparation and equipment. You need a generator, water pump, tools, cameras, and a lot more. We asked Wong what he still needed and stepped up to make sure he gets it. Here's the full shopping list, completely funded by the Planet Wild community to make Wong's plan a reality. So she made it, she's here, and with that, that's phase 1 complete. Now, phase 2, getting Tinem comfortable in her new surroundings. We all know that change is hard, but Tinem doesn't need to worry because Jude also made the journey down to the rainforest.
I think Tinem is really suited for the forest environment. She's already wild. She can climb better than any cub we have been for.
In these early days, Tinem's behavior will be closely monitored, and when Jude thinks she's ready, it's time for phase 3.
Okay, so this is a big moment, and now it's all about Tinem, and we don't really know how she's going to react. Jude is about to open her cage for her first taste of freedom. Now I'm going to get out of the way.
And so, Tinem's new family life is starting. From now on, Jude takes Tinem for walks in the forest every day, She learned to climb, test her limits in the tall trees, and terrorize the local termite community, just like any other cub. But the forest can also be a scary place. Predators like pythons, leopards, and even other sun bears pose serious dangers to young Tinem. So when she has worn herself out playing in the trees, she returns with Jude to the safety of her camp, where her human family feeds her and makes sure she's okay.
So today was a big day for Tinem, and now she's back at the camp, and this is the essence of the soft release method. Every night she'll return to the camp, and every morning she'll be released under the watchful eye of her surrogate mother, Jude. So really, phase 3 is a routine of love and care that will be repeated every day for years. Now, before we dive into the most crucial and final step of Wong's plan, you can become part of these missions yourself and join the Planet Wild community for as little as $6 a month. As a backer, you get access to our team Discord, behind-the-scenes footage, mission debriefs, regular updates, and much more. There's a link in the description. Now for phase 4. As Tinem gets older and becomes a teenage bear, she'll explore further in the forest, spending more time on her own. One day, Jude will open the door to her cage, and just like any other day, she'll step out for a walk in the forest. But this time, she won't come back.
I'm just gonna get worried all day because I've been taking care of her since she was 4 months old. If I get to see her walk on her own in the wild, so it will be a bittersweet but happy emotion.
Tinem will decide when she's ready to make it on her own, and then she'll make her first steps as an independent, free, grown-up bear.
And that will be the proudest moment for Jude, Wong, and the rest of Tinem's human family. Thanks to their dedication and with just the right support from the Planet Wild community, she'll be able to overcome the difficult start she had in life and live freely in the beautiful rainforest of Borneo. So what to do next? Sign up below or watch our next video here.